your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment. Let's get it poppin'. Why I support breastfeeding 2,000%. 2,000%. I personally support breastfeeding 2,000%. Why? Because there are over 2,000 benefits of breastfeeding. Who is this guy saying Inspirit Nutrition, back again for another installment, your brother, your friend? And what does he know about breastfeeding? Why does he support it? Well, I'm a healthcare professional. I'm a dietitian. I've worked in maternal and child health and development. What does that mean? Maternal is the mater, the mother. Child, of course, is child development. So I took classes in college. Also, I took continuing education while in the field for approximately 2 years. Worked with women, infants, and children, learning about the gestation period, learning about the nutrition necessary during infancy, learning about breastfeeding and the importance thereof, and learning about early childhood development and nutrition. So I know a little bit. I received some breastfeeding training, etc. So I know a lot of information in that sector as well. So why I support breastfeeding 2,000%. Number one, breastfeeding is the most natural form of nutrition that a baby can receive. It's the most complete form of nutrition. Mothers have been breastfeeding since human beings have existed on the planet. At about age 11, 12, 13, young girls start to develop mammary glands. They develop and expand. These mammary glands, which we later see as breasts, which we sexualize, have the sole purpose of producing oxytocin, producing prolactin, producing other hormones that produce milk and colostrum during pregnancy and afterwards, during the last stages of pregnancy and afterwards, to breastfeed and rear strong, healthy babies. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Outside of America, where breastfeeding is stigmatized, where breastfeeding is shamed and frowned upon, most women breastfeed naturally. If you go to Africa, West Africa, South Africa, Central Africa, North Africa, if you go to parts of Europe, if you go to Central, South America, even in parts of North America like Mexico, you will find that people are breastfeeding normally, naturally. It is natural. That's one of the first reasons why I support breastfeeding 2,000%. The second reason that I support breastfeeding 2,000% is because it's 1,000 times or 2,000 times more nutritious than formula that is made in a laboratory. A bald guy, no hair here, glasses, in a lab coat, in a factory somewhere, in a lab, decided that we're going to break down human nutrition, early infant nutrition, and create a formula based off of whey or cow's milk formula. Human beings are the only animals who rely on nutrition from the early milk, infant milk of other species. Gorillas breastfeed their children. Cows breastfeed their children. All these animals breastfeed their children. Human lactation, human milk is perfect for the baby. That's why I support breastfeeding 2,000%. I think that human beings should use human milk 2,000%. That's another reason why I support it. Breastfeeding also helps prevent breast cancer, lowers the risk of having breast cancer. Also, ovarian cancer. Ovarian cancer are the eggs, the ovaries are the eggs within the uterus. That's where the babies actually come from. That's another reason why I support breastfeeding 2,000%. It creates a bond between the mother and the infant. Some people believe that that's foolish, but for me, that's why I support breastfeeding 2000%, to create a bond between the mom and the baby. The mom and the baby. The mother carried and developed the infant for 9 months straight, right? 40 weeks. Actually, it's 10 months if it goes to full gestation, but 9 months, 10 months straight. And what happens? They say that you're babying the baby and you're spoiling the baby by always breastfeeding it. That's nonsense. You're the creator, you're the mother, you're the first teacher. You should be sharing the love with the baby. This is the only thing that the baby knows. Yes, the baby can lay on the father's chest, or the grandmother can hold the baby and show love, but the first teacher is the mother. This is why I support breastfeeding 2000%. Another reason why I support breastfeeding 2000% is when you actually lay the baby skin to skin and you're breastfeeding the baby, or you're just holding the baby on the chest, guess what? The glucose levels in the bloodstream, they reach the optimum levels, right? The breathing rate slows down and reaches its optimum level. It matches the mother's breathing rate. It can hear the heartbeat of the mother. This is why I support breastfeeding 2000%. Breastfeeding babies are shown to have better cognitive development. That's brain development, eyesight, a higher immune system, right? Lower chances of having cancer, diabetes, overweight, obesity down the line. People say, hey, I gave him soy milk, or I gave him almond milk, or I gave him Similac and all these different powdered milks, and he came out fine. Well, guess what? Down the line, you can't see 25 years down the line. You can't see 50 years down the line. You don't have the science to back up what you're saying, but there's science showing that lower risk of cancer, lower risk of diabetes, lower risk of ear infections, etc. All right? Lower risk of sudden infant death syndrome. This is why I support breastfeeding 2000%. There's certain anti-cancer antibodies that are found in the breast milk that isn't found in formula. Guess what? When the woman is having the baby, the woman's immune system is recognizing the different pathogens and bacteria and viruses in the environment, and it's creating antibodies, antivirals for those specific pathogens. So when the baby comes out, guess what? There's a little yellowish liquid. It's called liquid gold. We call it liquid gold. It's that oro, líquido, right? That comes out in the beginning before the rest of the milk when the baby's first born, and bam, the baby digests that and creates a healthy immune system, healthier than the baby that doesn't receive that. Any amount of breastfeeding is better than pure formula feeding. What does that mean? Even if you only breastfeed for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, any time of breastfeeding is better than no breastfeeding. That's why I support breastfeeding 2000%. What other benefits? A woman, her uterus expands during pregnancy. After breastfeeding, it contracts back to its normal size during the breastfeeding. A mother also burns 500 calories a day. 500 calories a day? I think 500 calories a day doing breastfeeding. That means she could be sitting and watching TV, and just with the production of breast milk, she's burning calories. That's why I support breastfeeding 2000%. What is another reason? I'm listing so many reasons. It's good for the environment. Instead of having plastic bottles and having to put those plastic bottles back into the environment, you have breastfeeding. It's natural, recyclable. It's no need, no waste. You're good. I support breastfeeding 2000%. Another thing, in the middle of the night, the baby's crying and yelling. You don't have to get up and make a bottle. Guess what? You just pop it out and you breastfeed natural. That's why I support breastfeeding 2000%. It's easy, on the go. It's natural. And also in California, where I reside, it's legal to breastfeed in any public location. So if anybody tries to stop you, give them the middle finger and tell them that there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you or your baby. I support breastfeeding 2000%. So should you. I recommend that all mothers breastfeed for as long as they can. Your breast will not sag if you breastfeed, if you're healthy, and you haven't succumbed to gravity after 60, 70 years, 80, 100 years of living here on the planet, then it's not going to cause your breast to sag. Okay? The longer you breastfeed, the better. The milk increases over time. It's recommended that you breastfeed at least for a year. Your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment. Why I support breastfeeding 2,000%. Please forgive me if I haven't listed every last benefit of breastfeeding, because there's almost too many to list. It's free. I didn't say that. It's free. I'll give a quick story. Some people think my breasts are too small, I'm not going to produce enough milk. That's a myth. It doesn't matter. The glands inside the breast are what produce the milk, not the extra fat around it that makes your breast seem bigger. Another thing is that during Hurricane Katrina, this happened in about 2006? I forgot when Hurricane Katrina was. But there was a mother who gave birth on top of a roof because she was abandoned by our government. They didn't save people in time. So she and her baby were on the roof. She had no food, no nutrition. But guess what? Unless you are extremely malnourished for a long period of time, your breast milk will not be compromised. The baby will be taken care of. She breastfed the baby. She was a 16-year-old young lady in 2006 on the roof in New Orleans. And guess what? Baby was plump, healthy. And that's how babies are when they breastfeed. That's why I support breastfeeding 2,000%. Your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment. Inspirit Nutrition. Breastfeed. 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 Peace and blessings.